I'm not going to talk much about AMC because we've already looked at this, beating this thing to death. But basically, we all know that all the new small cap guys are kind of locked up in this thing right now, right? So we've gotten this like pretty ugly daily chart going on. So like, I mean, this to me, like, yeah, it could reverse and everything. I really don't know how much the 200 and the 50-day moving average are going to play into a stock like this. Like, I don't think that anybody's trading this thing really cares about those levels. But as far as I'm seeing it, like overall, it's still on the upside. So I do kind of want to point that out. Like if you're drawing this line kind of right across, like we're still uptrending here overall. So like this is still front side of the move. Shorter term, it's backside. Like if you draw a steeper line. So overall though, like I wouldn't be shorting this thing personally until we got under this kind of trend line here. Like if we smashed right under that, we were kind of like into the 30 area, that's when I could just see this thing absolutely crumbling. But until that happens, I'm not fully convinced it's over. But regardless, I think what happened is, last week we had this pretty significant sell off after hanging on for 2-3 weeks or whatever it was, and we were just seeing a lot of the really small cap, like super like low float, micro float stocks just going nuts again. And to me, like anytime you can almost watch the money flow in small caps because it's all the same people playing it, right? So as soon as you see something like this where a lot of people are in it selling off, to me that kind of alerts me to be a little bit more on guard when I'm shorting stuff. So like I always say, front side versus back side. So basically all you're doing, you're just drawing a trend line up, and if you're on the front side of the move, you want to take front side covers, right? Because I'm predominantly a short seller, which basically means, say you're looking at AMC for something like this, I'd short here, say, and I'd just cover into the first wash, right? Like that's all you're looking for. Whereas on backside, like if I was shorting over here, I'd be shorting here and I'd be looking to cover like way the hell down here, right? So if you're on the backside of the move, that's when you can really get big on size, really let the things fade. But front side of the move, you just got to be quick in and out. So basically what I'm seeing here is, we get this bit of a sell off, and I kind of wanted to just show quickly here, like obviously we had Newegg.
Yeah, I was about to say Newegg had a very wild week. Funny story behind that one, but we're not going to get into it. But it was an absolutely face-ripping rally. What was it on Wednesday? I believe the stock was up, what, like 148%?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. We took off here, $10, $11, and it pretty much went straight up to 70. And
Do you think
like
that's a bull flag? Like,
sorry?
do you think that's going to be a bull flag? Those last like two candles, low
I don't know.
continuation, or is it just way up in the air? Because
Yeah, it's really just up in the air. Like, when I go to something like this, like if I go to like say a 30-minute candle, like that looks like right now that could go either way. Like if it breaks out over top of this, I mean that thing could just rip your face off and go up to $100 pretty easily. But if we break down below this 44 area, then I think we're probably coming straight down to like 27.
so
Right.
I'm not a meme stock guy, but I think there's a good chance that this thing's gonna break higher.
Yeah.
I've just been so like astounded by what's happened in the markets this year, and I've come to the realization that I think that meme stocks is now just a thing in the markets. Like there's a group of people that just want to gamble in the markets, and as you guys point out, they call themselves apes, and they don't really have a lot of respect for their money, but they just want to have a little bit of fun with Reddit and uh, you know these online chat rooms. So it wouldn't be surprise me if Newegg is the next, little meme stock for the next little bit. I've realized that anything is now possible because of the internet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is just, this is the kind of stuff that, we've seen in small caps for years and years. So it's not particularly new. I mean, we might see the frequency of it going up and stuff like that. But the thing that, I think a lot of the new traders, that's kind of why I wanted to point this out is, if you look at AMC, it's got like what, a 500 million share float or something like that. It's like a legitimate company, all these kind of things. One of the things that you do really have to be careful about that I want to caution on these smaller stocks and stuff like that is, I've seen it happen before, is when you get these massive moves, the SEC on these really junky companies, the SEC can come in and they can halt these things pending investigation for months at a time. So that's just kind of one thing I wanted to point out, is like I've seen these stocks do moves like this, and then they get a day where it rips up and then it just halts, and it might be 3 or 4 months later when it opens, and it might open, might close at $90 and open at 80 cents.
So I've
So
seen stocks get halted that never open again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, and then you lose everything.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stocks like that, and I've seen a lot of people absolutely lose their shirts.
Yeah.
They don't even
Yeah.
have the opportunity to sell. They say, "Oh, I'll sell when it breaks this trend line, or I have a stop loss in, or whatever," but they don't even have the opportunity for that, which is really sad. But I think we all need to recognize whatever you invest in. Warren Buffett has a quote on this actually. Invest in companies that if they were closed for 10 years, you wouldn't be nervous about holding. Companies that you would really believe in, that if the market just was closed, that you'd be confident that when it opened, that you would have a good investment there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up. I don't want to say don't play these or anything. I just just my own word of caution from doing these things for years is that kind of stuff can happen. So like, you never want to bet more than you're willing to lose every penny of it. Like if you can't afford to lose every penny that you just bet in a small cap, don't put your money down because it can happen and it's happened before. It'll happen again. The other thing I kind of wanted to show on this as well, I think Carve was another good one that we had this week.
Before we
Yeah.
move on, did you guys mention in the chat what was the reason for that 600% pump? Or is it just blocked?
No, there was a reason for it. They either announced something new that they'd be selling.
Let's see if this opens up here. Newegg offers on-demand assembly of custom PCs. That was July.
Yes, that's exactly it. Because Newegg, I've ordered from there before.
Yeah.
You're able to order the computer parts, right? Now they will build the computer for you, which is huge.
But
Yeah, so
I could swear they've always been able to do that. It's like
They might.
$50.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
We were talking about.
we
were
just
talking
already
about that the other
ordered the
week.
parts and then
Yes.
built them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that the other week. How these small cap companies will do that. They'll be doing something for years or months, and they'll just put out a press release saying that they're doing it, and then it just goes to the moon, right? But if you look in the filings, you'll realize that they've been doing that forever. But
I actually didn't know that they were doing it forever. On a side note, I actually do need a new PC. I want to do a little bit of gaming. And definitely now that Newegg has the new NVIDIA 30 series cards, I'm definitely going to be buying a new NVIDIA card and playing some games and probably ordering one from Newegg, actually. So maybe they got it. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, Brendan,
Awesome.
just like, look, I'm just noticing this here as well. Just back to your point about whether or not you think Newegg is going to go up or down. If you look at this thing on the daily, right here, you got the similar kind of setup that we were seeing there, right? So if you look at that sort of pattern, right, and then we go back to.
But I don't like, just give it 1 second. I don't like how, so Newegg has really nice bullish confirmation on the RSI, but Carve on the daily has bearish divergence on the RSI. If you go Carve, so that's just what I see, but that's the first thing. But that looks like a bull flag to me on Newegg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if this thing snaps up, like you're gonna have a big move to the upside, right? So the tricky thing with these things though is kind of why I wanted to bring this up as well. Just word of warning, I guess you could say. Just something to keep in mind when you're trading these things. You always want to kind of know the flow to these things. It's just use it as a gauge about how quick they're going to move. Essentially, something that's a billion share float is not going to move very fast. Something that's 100,000 share float will move like crazy, right? So